Hello. Before I get started today, I just wanted to say that I hope these sit down videos are all right with you guys. I mean, I'm quite enjoying doing them. I haven't been getting any negative feedback, so I'm gonna carry on doing these for now because they're helping me to get my head around things. So whilst ever there's no negative feedback, I might as well carry on doing them. And then if once I start getting a bit more confident, I'd quite like to start maybe vlogging my days a bit more, just show you what I get up to on a daily basis and things like that. So if you'd be interested in that, then let me know. But so today I'd quite like to talk about my past and my current relationship with food. And I obviously in a previous video I've spoken about my history with exercise, which has always been quite a big issue for me throughout my eating disorder. But obviously, food is also a big part of it. So, from I mean, as far as I can remember, from a young age, like when before I was really like able to, before I cooked my own food and things like that, before I made my own food decisions, when like my parents cooked for me and from a young age, I've never had any sort of like intolerances or diet or dietary. I've never been like lactose intolerant or gluten intolerant or anything like that. And my diet was fairly normal as far as I can remember as a young child. I just ate whatever my mum prepared, and I was fairly just average really. I wasn't underweight, overweight, I wouldn't say. And then as I got a bit older and my OCD began, like when I became very obsessed around the weather and fears of which I again discussed in a past video. I think my relationship with food started to become a bit more not quite as normal. Like I was quite limited with my food choices, but I think at that point I was using food. I almost sort of turned to food as like maybe it's like a comfort thing for my like, because I was very anxious about the weather and things like that. Maybe I looked at food as like a coping mechanism for my anxieties around the weather. So I started to develop some strange eating habits. Like I seem to remember always wanting like these Rustlers microwave burgers or these like hot dog sausages, and my diet was quite limited but quite unhealthy as well. Like I didn't like any fruit or vegetables and things like that, and I seem to remember having funny things with like eating butter and like having like loads of ketchup on meals and just things that weren't really balanced and were a bit abnormal really. And I think that might have contributed to why I was slightly bigger sort of frame as a younger lad. And obviously then with that came comments and maybe a bit of bullying and things like that about my shape. And then as I got a bit older, sort of started at high school about the age of 11, I then sort of began restricting my food and became more health conscious and was sort of cutting back on the unhealthy things like the burgers and hot dogs and packets of crisps and chocolate and this sort of thing. And then obviously that sort of steadily got more severe to the point where I really wasn't eating much at all. And then obviously that's where the issues came, and I went into hospital and was then put on a weight gain meal plan when I was in hospital. So since I went into hospital the first time about 9 years ago, I have been on some form of a meal plan from then until now. So although the meal plan has sort of changed over the years, the fact that I haven't been eating intuitively for so long, which is sort of like where you where you respond to your hunger. Like when you're hungry, you eat. When you're full, you don't eat as much. Like I haven't really done that for a long time. I've just been on a set meal plan every day, and I have this for breakfast, this for lunch, this for snacks, this for dinner, and it's all just sort of written out, and I just follow that plan every day. I don't ever sort of respond to my body's hunger signals and things like that. So um, as I say, I've had multiple hospital admissions, and each time I've been like discharged on a meal plan, and I've stuck to the meal plan for so long, or a variation of the meal plan, and then I've got back into bad ways and sort of gradually started cutting back again, and then to the point where I've ended up going back into hospital and going through all that routine again. And then since I was discharged from hospital last time, I have I haven't sort of restricted my food back again, but I have been very much stuck on the same, or a variation of the same meal plan, which I showed you in a couple of videos ago. That diet is sort of what I've been on essentially for the last probably 4 years or so. And I know some of you are probably thinking, how the hell do you eat the same thing every day for that long? But to me, it's just, I've forgotten what it feels like to feel hungry or to feel full. Like I wouldn't know how to respond to it. Like when people say to me like, I'm starving, I could eat this, I could eat this now or whatever. I think I can't remember what it feels like to feel hungry or to feel full, because to be honest, I don't know what it feels like when if I do feel hungry. I don't know whether I'm just thirsty or whether I'm hungry, or if it's just mental, or if I actually am. Like, so it's quite difficult for me to be able to respond to what my body's telling me. And I think sometimes I do get hungry, like today, like even now. When I've eaten all of my food or throughout the day, I'll notice that I am hungry on some days more than others, but I don't respond to that. And I think that's probably part of the reason why um why I haven't maybe grown to my full potential and things like that, because I haven't listened to my body when I've been hungry. And obviously then, when you sort of go through those periods where you eat more, and then you fill out a bit, and then you shoot up. And I haven't really done that, because I've sort of suppressed my feelings of hunger and ignored them. So I've probably missed out on some of the chances for development, really. And also it's very restricting, like being on a set meal plan every day. I mean, it I think for some people, like, say if you need to say lose weight or gain weight, like, and if you need something to keep you accountable, to make sure that you stick to that, like, for some people it probably is very helpful to be on a meal plan. But for someone like myself now, where I'm trying to work some balance back into my life, I think it's not the best thing for my OCD to be on this such a strict route, like such a strict, rigid meal plan day in, day out. And I think probably I think I'll always follow some sort of structured, healthy, like, meal structure, where most days I do eat fairly similar meals of similar, like protein source, a carbohydrate source, a fat source. And I think that's important to me to keep that, because obviously my health and well-being is quite important to me. But also I think to incorporate some flexibility in that, where I'm able to go out for the odd meal, or have the odd meal off plan, if you will. I think that's something that I'll be looking to get to in the near future, really, because that'll allow me to have more balance in my life, and it's more it's more sustainable and realistic, really. I mean, even the fittest people in the world don't stick to their diet 365 days a year. They go on holiday and have days or weeks where they don't track their food and where they don't weigh everything out. And I think that's the difference between having a healthy approach to food and then an unhealthy approach, which is probably it is what I've got really at the moment. So that's a bit about my past and current relationship with food and sort of what I'd like to do going forward. If you've got any questions, leave me a comment below or shoot me a message on Instagram. As I say, I've got my Instagram linked in the description box. And as I always say, if you're interested to stay up to date, then please subscribe and like the videos, because it does really help me to know that people are following along and are interested. So I'll leave it there for today. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.